If I were to ask you what's the most famous painting in the world, what would you say? Starry Night? The Scream? I think most would say the Mona Lisa. Well, in 1911, it was stolen. This episode on Cheeky Tales, we look at some incredible art heists throughout history.
Okay, everyone, welcome back. First of all, people that say the Mona Lisa are wrong, mainly because you asked me during the week out of the blue and I said Starry Night.
You did say Starry Night. Well, I know you have a thing for Starry Night. So
I do, it's right there.
I was expecting it.
No, it's not.
Colloquially, the
That's a
Mona
Starry Night over
Lisa
the
will
Rhine.
be the most famous painting.
Yeah, look, yes, it's fine. That's the correct answer.
That's the.
I was wrong.
Say that one more time.
Okay, you lost at Worms. Got him! We've started a tradition before we record where we play the video game Worms. And Sean is known for losing huge leads. And he did it again. Anyway.
Sean choker to Worms.
How to lose 50 times at Worms.
Choker to Worms. There's a sentence for you.
All right, well, art theft.
Art thefts. Art heists. Yeah, we're looking at two art heists.
Yep.
I have a mini art-related story at the end of the episode.
I hope that comes through.
So welcome to Cheeky Tales this fortnight. This episode, I will be your host, and with me, art aficionado Aaron. Boy, welcome.
I love the art.
How are you?
I'm good.
Yep.
How are you?
Good. And
you know what's funny is I actually went and saw the Banksy exhibit between our last recording and now. So I am the art guy, apparently.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I did see that was a thing at the moment. It looks really good. And Sean is, of course, with us as well.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome, Sean.
Hello.
What do you know about art?
Holy.
That is going to make it through, I think.
That's so loud.
Yeah, that's because he wants to play fetch. This is my cat.
No.
Yeah.
It's your bloody goldfish. Of course it's your cat.
It's your rescue cat. You rescued him.
Yeah. Scooped him up like an orphan.
Yeah, Brie, for the love of sweet Jesus.
So hit us with the Banksy knowledge. How was the Banksy exhibit?
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was a lot of repetition, though. Apparently, it wasn't like Banksy approved. And it was decently sized, but there was a lot of repetition of the same stuff.
Yeah,
you saw the same stuff over and over again. You're like, okay, I get it. Cute rat, whatever. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, really good.
Yeah,
makes you think.
It wasn't just like his stuff in frames or anything. Like didn't they set up some things like how they were found like in a dirty alleyway?
Yeah, yeah. They did have some installations that were like, oh, here's a wall, and that was the thing.
Okay, cool. Who is Banksy? Maybe that's an episode.
Well, I don't know if it could be.
We don't know who it is.
Yeah.
It's a mystery. You like mysteries?
Yeah, I guess I do like mysteries, but...
What was the last unsolved mystery that we did? The Somerton Man? Oh, that kind of semi-solved.
That was basically solved. I'm doing a mystery next week.
Oh, yeah?
Next fortnight, yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So, the first one we're going to get into, like I said in the intro, is the Mona Lisa.
Mona Lisa.
No. I knew... No.
You're an overrated...
I don't know what that is. What
the Lonely Island has a whole song about Mona Lisa. Mona Lisa, you're an overrated piece of shit.
I mean, technically they're not wrong. And we'll get into that. So some background into the world's most famous painting. And I would say that because, as Sean said earlier, it is the world's most famous painting. If you Google the most famous painting,
it's going to be Mona Lisa.
It's the Mona Lisa.
If you think art, you think Mona Lisa.
Who painted it?
Da Vinci?
Correct. Leonardo da Vinci. He started painting it in 1503.
Is it that old?
It is that old.
Wow.
And he continued working on it until about 1506. It is also believed he worked on it until about 1517, as it was found in his studio in 1519 after his death.
Oh, did people not even know about it when he was alive?
Yes. Do I get to it?
How much of his stuff was found posthumously?
I actually didn't look into that. Maybe that's
how did he make money?
That's maybe he painted the 16th chapel. He probably
the what chapel?
16th chapel.
Sistine.
I thought you said the 16th chapel.
I kind of did,
yeah.
and then realised what I was saying halfway through the word and changed it. Maybe Sean can look up how he made his money. But
The Sixtine Chapel.
I'm sure if I get to it later on, I can't remember if I put it in or not. He was commissioned to do this painting,
Yeah.
and the people who commissioned it never actually received it.
The Mona Lisa.
Correct.
And so someone just came and stole it.
No, he just never finished it, and it was found in his studio, and then it was like put on display.
Well, if it was commissioned, it should be theirs.
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
So yeah, it was found in his studio in 1519 following his death, and is widely believed to be unfinished because like they could see layers in it, like continued layers that he kept on adding to it. It is painted with oil on popular panel.
Mm-hmm.
Popular is a type of plant, so it's actually painted on like a wood panel.
Yeah.
It's not like
It's not canvas.
It's not canvas.
Right.
Canvas wasn't really used until later in the 16th century, and this is earlier in the 16th century.
Okay.
At some point, the painting was removed from its original frame because the panel would warp freely with changes in the humidity, and as a result, a crack developed near the top and extended down to the hairline of the model. In the early 19th century, 2 butterfly-shaped walnut braces were inserted in the back of the panel, stabilizing the crack.
Okay. So it's not getting worse.
No, it's not getting worse. So like I said, wood panel, it's like painted on, it's not plywood, but just imagine like a square piece of plywood. And then, so obviously when humidity and stuff like that, it's going to...
It's in the Louvre, right?
Correct.
The Louvre.
I will get to that as well.
Yeah.
How big do you think this painting is, boy? Like you...
I know it's smaller than you think.
Yeah, everyone can picture yourself looking at...
Picture yourself looking at the Louvre.
At the Mona Lisa.
Inside the Louvre is the Mona Lisa.
How big do you think it is? Because
in my head, it's like 1.5 meters.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a big boy painting.
Yeah.
It's actually like, isn't it like an A4? Like it's tiny.
I think it's closer to A3. It's 77 centimeters by 53 centimeters.
Yeah.
So 3/4 of a meter by 1/2 meter, which is...
Yeah, it's not big.
It's not huge.
Yeah.
The painting is also kept under strict climate-controlled conditions in a bulletproof case, and the humidity is maintained at 50%, which is also supplemented by a bed of silica gel, which helps it keep it at that 50% humidity, just to stop any of that movement. That's well looked after. I believe in the 90s there was some restoration efforts too with like re-varnishing the clear paint on it and stuff like that. So
not like the restoration of that Jesus painting by that woman that time. Do you not know about this?
I think I do, but
It's pretty-
refresh
yeah.
my memory.
There was a cleaner. I think it was a cleaner or something. She
This is recent?
yeah. She decided she wanted to take a crack at restoring like this super ancient painting of Jesus. And it it was just the worst thing you've ever seen. It looked like a grade 2's art project. It was so bad. Just look it up. Old Lady Ruins painting.
Okay.
Like,
The fresco of Jesus. Cecilia Jimenez, the Spanish woman who really messed up when she tried to restore the 19th century fresco of Jesus, now wants a piece of the action.
Yeah.
Her church has collected from tourists coming to see the ruined artwork.
It's probably even more famous than what it was originally.
Yeah, I would never have heard of this thing. I would not care about it. But if I'm anywhere near it, I want to see it.
By the time Jimenez was done with her attempt at restoration, the image was being likened to a werewolf, but news reports in the recent weeks also showed that her work has some fans, such as the online Beast Jesus Restoration Society. And that it's drawing tourists to the Santuario that's a really hard one. De Misericordia Church in Borgia.
Now we're going to have to put this in the
link tree or something.
Yeah.
Put it in the comments of the post.
Old Lady Ruins painting.
Yeah, how it looks, how it should look, how it looks in the center, and then what it looks like. It's the worst looking.
I don't know.
Have you seen it?
No, I don't know how this is going to work on Twitter, but there could be a lot of photos to go with this episode because I'm going to reference a lot of
Sometimes called
paintings
Monkey
and stuff.
Christ.
Oh my lord! Oh my lord!
It's bad, isn't it? It's so bad.
My boy Jesus, what have they done to you? He looks like a sloth. Like
my faith is sloth Jesus.
Zootopia. Like the sloths in Zootopia.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me.
The authorities in Borgia said that they had suspected vandalism at first, but then determined that the alterations had been made by an elderly parishioner, Cecilia Jimenez, who was 81 years old at the time. She said on
so good.
Oh,
she
she
said
tried.
on Spanish national television that she started to restore the fresco because she was upset that parts of it had flaked off due to the moisture on the church's walls. Jimenez defended herself, saying she could not understand the uproar because she had worked in broad daylight and had tried to salvage the fresco from the approval of the local clergyman.
Do you think that she started out with like this picture in her head? She got like 2 hours in. She's like, oh no, oh no, oh no. And she just kept going.
Oh, she has said that the attempted restoration was actually an uncompleted work in progress. I left it to dry and went on holiday for 2 weeks, thinking I'd finish it when I returned. When I'd come back, everyone in the world had heard about Ecce Homo. The way people reacted still hurts me because I wasn't finished with the restoration. I still think about how if it hadn't gone on holiday, none of this would have happened. How do you come back from that? That's
Well, that
It
wasn't.
actually doesn't even look like the same painting.
No, that wasn't one of the art heists I've got down, but that is stolen artwork for sure.
so. Yeah, so
I want that on a t-shirt.
the
Let's do it. Is this going to be our first
Could this
Cheeky
be our
Tales
first
merch?
merch?
Yes.
We'll rip off the old lady's work.
So the actual painting is called Ecce Homo, which means behold the man, and now it has been dubbed Ecce Mono, which means behold the monkey. Because of the negative
Okay,
attention,
no,
the
so-
priest said that the painting should
What-
be covered up.
So just pause the podcast, look up a photo.
Please
go
look it up.
to our social.
If you don't know what we're talking about, it's so funny.
It's either, like I said, we're either going to have like 12 pictures in this post. It's going to be in the comments. It's going to be on the post. Look it up. Have a giggle. And then we'll get back.
It's truly hilarious.
By 2016, the number of tourists visiting the town had increased from 6,000 to 57,000 or even nearly 200,000 specifically to see the painting.
Damn.
Oh,
In
I'd
addition,
go.
in addition to spending money with local businesses, visitors have donated more than 50,000 euro to the church. The money has been used to employ additional attendants in the church to fund a home for
That's some
retirees.
awesome
Why
tourism.
don't you use the money to fund an art restoration project?
Because
Yeah.
then the income will stop.
You know what?
Can
There's no way that thing can be restored from what she's
Can we
done.
go find some art piece in Brisbane and just
It's
to
also,
try and fix it?
get my 5-year-old to restore it, and then bam, we've got a tourist attraction.
it is also not an exceptionally old painting anyway. It's not
No,
like
19th
it's
century, no.
1930 it
Yeah.
was painted. It's not like it's
100 years old.
650 years old.
1930.
Yeah, it's not an old painting.
Oh,
It's
they
just-
keep saying it's a 19th century. So is it an 1830?
No, 1930.
The 19th century.
It's absolutely 19th. I just looked it up. It's a 1930 painting.
Ah, well, then everybody calling it the 19th century painting is wrong.
Yeah.
That's a 20th century. Anyway, go on. Back to the Mona Lisa.
Well, the subject of the Mona Lisa, Lisa Gherardini, was an Italian noblewoman, and her husband commissioned the painting to celebrate the birth of their second son. The title Mona Lisa comes from Monna in Italian, which is a polite form of addressing, originating as Madonna, which is similar to Madame or Milady in English. So the Italian title,
Is Madonna actually an Italian word?
yeah, it means like Madame.
Yeah.
So the Italian title is Monna with 2 N's, Lisa. Mona with 1 N is an Italian vulgar word. So if you're in Italy, I probably wouldn't say,
It's the Mona Lisa.
yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to have a guess of what vulgar word?
No. Whatever word I say will be wrong. Ah, okay.
Yep. I did a hand signal for Aaron.
Yeah.
So yeah, how's that for a title? So you mentioned before where it was displayed, because that was a question I was going to ask you. It is displayed in the Louvre. That is a museum in France.
Isn't the Louvre mostly underground?
I'm going to ask you that in
All
a
right.
second. But you are correct. It has been on display in the Louvre
The Louvre.
in France since 1797.
Sheesh.
It is also the highest painting valuation in history, and it's valued at over 100 million US in 1962, which is equivalent to about $1 billion into 2023
It has
money.
been there since before the French Revolution.
Yes, it was moved there from the French
Sheesh.
Revolution.
Mhm.
Another place that's been displayed, boy, is Napoleon's bedroom.
Nice.
No.
It spent 2 years in Napoleon's bedroom because
It would have seen some naughty things.
Do you reckon? I get the impression Napoleon was a pretty vanilla guy.
Nah, I reckon he was just like Austin Powers, like really like bold about like, do I make you horny? Just,
Yeah, baby.
like a French Austin Powers.
French Austin
I
Powers.
could see that.
like
Do I
no
make you lay
charisma.
horny?
Would you watch that as a movie?
I'd watch that as a movie.
I would watch that as a movie as well.
Because imagine French Austin Powers. Now mentioned French Austin Powers' dad. Like when Michael Caine plays his dad.
Yeah.
Imagine the French version of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be
Love
even
it.
better.
Love it.
But yeah, because before this incident in 1911, the painting wasn't really widely known. It was known in like art circles, but in the public, not really. So on a quiet, humid Monday morning on August 21st, 1911, 3 men hurried out of the Louvre. This was odd, as the museum was closed to visitors on Mondays.
De Louvre. De
Sorry, I
Louvre.
love
Louvre.
I love the pronunciation tool on Wikipedia.
De Louvre.
Louvre.
De Louvre.
Anyway.
I did have to use it a fair few times for some French names.
It's handy.
Just wait till my episode. It's full of Russian names.
Oh, nice.
Great.
So yeah, the Louvre is closed to visitors on Mondays. These men were Vincenzo Porriga and 2 brothers, Lancelotti and Michel, young Italian handymen.
Lancelot?
No, Lancelotti.
Yeah, I know. But like it's a French version of Lancelot.
I suppose it is, yeah.
Vincenzo Perugia.
Vincenzo Porriga, yep. They went to the Louvre Sunday afternoon and stashed themselves away in a narrow storeroom near the Salon Carré, which is a room full of Renaissance paintings. Renaissance paintings.
Renaissance.
No,
That's the,
I'm on board. It's not bad.
Resistance
It's
is
not a bad
futile.
word.
Well, you go to the, they say that for the fair, don't they? Like the Renaissance fair.
Yeah, Renaissance fair. The French Resistance.
Renaissance.
Renaissance.
The following morning, which is Monday morning, while they were wearing white workman clothing, they entered the Salon Carré and quickly ripped off the glass shadow and the frame. Like they had like a glass shadow piece.
Yep.
And the frame and took the painting and hid it under their clothes. They exited the gallery, headed down a back stairwell and through a side entrance into the streets of Paris. The Mona Lisa was stolen.
So they just ran out into the street with it.
Under his clothes, yep.
Under his clothes?
Yep, they took it out of the thing, rolled it up and chucked it under his clothes.
Didn't you say it was on wood?
Oh, it wasn't wood, so he wouldn't have rolled it up. Yeah, they hid it under his clothes. Well, it's only A3.
Sir, what is under your shirt? Nothing?
Well, are you expecting me to say alarms blared, police sirens screamed from
No,
the distance
not
and
at all.
hurried towards the Louvre?
Absolutely not. I'm guessing they didn't find it until the next day.
No, you're correct. It would
Yeah.
be 26 hours until someone noticed the painting was missing.
What year was this again?
1911.
Yeah, I guess that doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't?
Nah.
It kind of sounds strange.
What we've heard about the early 1900s, they weren't really up to date with
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, remember the painting wasn't really that famous then.
Yeah.
Also, at the time, the Louvre was the largest building in the world.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
It has more than 1,000 rooms.
Yep.
Spread over 45 acres.
Man, I did not expect the Louvre to be that big.
It is massive.
I guess you're not going to see everything in the Louvre in one go.
I guess not. And security was like a wet paper bag. Fewer than 150 guards protected 250,000 objects.
Wow.
Statues disappeared and paintings got damaged all the time.
Yeah, right.
I haven't covered it, but apart from this incident, there's been 4 other times the Mona Lisa's been vandalized.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was 2022. Someone smeared cake on it.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
It's been spray painted with red spray paint. It's been a brick that's been thrown at it, but in those incidences, the
It's
glass
that gets
protected
done,
it. But I think pre-1911, it might have been vandalized or someone threw something at it and there was like a chip of paint come off it, Lisa's elbow or something like that.
Perugia was only 160 centimeters tall.
Yeah, he's not a very big man.
Therefore, some people report that he concealed the painting under his smock, which he wouldn't have been able to do as it's 21 inches by 30 inches. So it would not fit under a smock worn by someone his size. Instead, he said that he took off his smock, wrapped it around the painting, and simply tucked it under his arm and left through the same door that he entered.
Mm-hmm. Earlier in 1910, a letter sent from Vienna threatened the Mona Lisa. So the museum officials hired a glazier to put a dozen or more of its most prized paintings under glass. The work took 3 months, and one of the workers hired to do the job was none other than Vincenzo Perega. So that's how he was able to kind of enter on the Sunday.
Case the joint.
Knew where to hide, type of thing.
Mm.
Vincenzo was a short man. What did you say how his height was?
160 centimeters.
5'3".
That is a little bloke.
He's a really little bloke.
5'3" in the odd
A
scale.
short king, if you would.
And he was described to have a quick temper. He was quick to challenge any insult to himself or his nation.
Yep.
So he had little man syndrome.
He had been arrested
Shocking.
twice beforehand. In 1908, he spent a night in jail for attempting to rob a prostitute. And 8 months later, he spent a week in the Macon and had to pay a 16 franc fine for carrying a gun in a fistfight.
Well, yeah.
He didn't
That's
use it. He just carried it.
disrespectful. Just
I
disrespectful.
didn't realise that was a crime, just carrying a gun
Carrying a gun. Yeah.
while in a fistfight.
That's
Well-
probably not because it was in a fist fight. It's probably just carrying a gun.
So, I guess the plan was to use the painting to barter for drugs or arms or other stolen goods. Unfortunately, the Mona Lisa became too hot to hawk. Initially, Monday afternoon, the newspapers had no mention of the theft. Tuesday morning papers were the same. Finally, late on Tuesday, the media exploded after the Louvre issued a statement announcing the theft.
Mm.
Newspapers around the world headlined the news. Wanted posters appeared all over Paris. Thousands of people flocked to the Louvre after it reopened a week later to stare at the now empty wall. It was
Can you
now.
imagine going, hey, do you want to go look where the Mona Lisa used to be?
Yeah. It was now Vincenzo had realised he hadn't stolen some old Italian painting from a decaying old royal palace. He had unluckily stolen what had now become, in a few short days, the most famous painting in the world.
Yeah.
Vincenzo hid the painting in the false bottom of a wooden trunk in his room. He was interviewed by police in November of 1911 as part of all Louvre employees being interviewed. But he fibbed and he...
Le Mona Lisa? Never heard of it.
What is this? He said he'd only heard of the theft from the newspaper, and the reason he was late to work on that Monday, the day of the theft, was because he had drunk too much the night before and overslept.
That sounds very French.
And, well, he's Italian.
Oh, okay.
And
That sounds very Italian.
the police bought the story. They believed him. Fast forward 28 months later to December 1913, Vincenzo left his Parisian boarding house with the trunk with the false bottom, like where the, painting was stashed, and took a train to Florence, where he tried to offload the painting to an art dealer.
You couldn't have gone a bit further, mate.
The art dealer hastily sold Vincenzo up the river and rang the police. He pleaded guilty and served 8 months jail time.
That's it?
That's it.
Wow.
His reasoning for thieving the painting was being Italian.
Yep.
He thought that piece belonged to Italy.
But he tried to sell it to somebody in France.
Yeah.
No, we tried to sell it to an art dealer in Florence.
In Florence.
Florence is France, right?
No.
Is Florence Italy?
Florence, Firenze is in Italy.
Italy.
Oh, man. I should know that.
Assassin's Creed 2 is like
Yeah,
one
come
of
on,
your
bro.
favorite video
I
games
should
of
know
all
too.
time. Ezio Auditore da Firenze.
Mamma mia.
Or Florence in the Queen's English. Come on now.
Firenze.
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 Sure. I am very sorry. Chicotail says, we are sorry to the people of Italy and France
Have
for,
a
our,
less funny accent.
for our abomination of all of your words.
Yes, I've butchered probably.
Mamma mia.
And for that, actually, that gets its own apology. Chicotails is sorry for Aaron.
I do love hitting people with a Mamma mia.
Yeah, I've started doing it now too. I'm not happy about it.
That sounds more Greek than Italian.
That's the idea.
Because you put it on
Yeah, right,
an
okay.
awful accent.
Right.
Something an Italian would never say, first of all. And then second, say it like an Italian would never say it.
The other speculation why he stole the painting is that he had ties with someone who was selling replicas, and the theft would increase the price of those.
Right. Okay.
The
I
Mona,
can see that.
the Mona Lisa would return to the Louvre after some quick exhibitions in Florence, Milan, and Rome.
Oh, it's here.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what they did. And then in the first 2 days after being rehung in the Salon Carré, more than 100,000 people viewed it.
Yeah.
Today, 8 million people see the Mona Lisa every year.
I reckon it would be a real annoyance to go see it.
Yeah, you look at all the photos of people trying to look at it because it's obviously quite a small painting. It's half a meter by a bit
Yeah.
wider.
I mean, if you're in France, what do? You see the Eiffel Tower, you jump over to the Louvre and see the Mona Lisa. Like, that's what you do in France, isn't
Yeah,
it?
you'd want to time it at the time of day where it's going to be the least busy, like
On a Monday when it's closed.
when it's closed. Like when
I don't know if it's still closed on Mondays, but
like when I went to America, I went to the Empire State Building. What a lot of people don't know is it's open till 11:30 at night.
yeah, right.
I went at like
10:50.
9:30 or 10 o'clock or something like that. You know how many people were inside the building? About 10.
Yeah, nice.
And it is a stunning building. So like you just pick a time, but it's the same thing. Avoid the rush. Go and see when there's no one there.
I'm looking at photos of like
Of
the Mona
Heist.
Lisa in the Louvre. And yeah, every photo is like hundreds of people standing
Crowded
around.
around it.
And they've all got their dumbass phones and
out.
cameras out.
And
Taking a photo of a painting.
and it's in between other paintings.
Picture yourself.
isn't it?
Take-
Picture
taking a
yourself
picture.
taking a picture. Yeah, shut up.
It's in between other paintings, isn't it? Which are like
Yeah.
big meter-sized paintings, so it looks even tinier on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a small guy.
So that is one, how the Mona Lisa was stolen, and two, how it became the most famous painting in the world. That was the incident that pretty much brought it to everyone's attention.
Yeah. What did they do with it in World War II? And one, I guess.
Sean, you can look it up. I think I read it quickly. I think they did move a lot of stuff out
Yeah.
of the Louvre to, I can't remember where, but they moved it somewhere during the
Yeah.
war. Yep.
Throughout the war, the art pieces were clandestinely, because that's a fantastic word, by the way. Clandestine is already a quote. Yeah.
Yep.
But clandestinely moved from chateau to chateau to avoid being taken back by the Nazis. For example, the Mona Lisa was moved from Chambord to several castles and abbeys to finish at the end of the war at the Musée Ingres in Montauban. So the evacuation of the Louvre Museum during World War II. In 1939, it was closed for 3 days officially for repairs. However, much of the Louvre art was then hauled on trucks, 203 vehicles transporting 1,862 wooden cases, and was sent to the Chateau de Chambord. Can only assume that is also where they make the delicious
Chambord.
Chambord liqueur.
The holy
perhaps.
hand grenade of
Yes.
liqueurs.
Some of the art pieces were too big to fit in a truck. For example, the raft of Medusa had to be covered with a blanket. When the truck initially arrived in Versailles on its route to Chambord, the canvas touched an electrical cable and created a short circuit, which switched off the electricity to the whole town.
Wow.
Um,
Guys, just be subtle when we get here.
So when I was looking it up, there are so many stories. So I could easily do a sequel to Art Heist with other ones. Like there was a bunch of paintings stolen by the Nazis.
yeah,
And there was a whole
so many.
mission to go find them and bring them back. So
Yeah.
They call it the Nazi plunder,
Yep.
or in German, the Raubkunst. Don't know why that has to have a German name, but it does.
So yeah, there's heaps of, and I'm kind of doing this as a spiritual successor to Hatton Garden.
Yeah, I was feeling Hatton Garden. vibes.
And then I could easily, like I said, do another one in 6 months' time for more Art Heists because there's so many stories.
Nice.
Oh man,
So when Sean was saying, how many pieces did they move out of the Louvre?
1,862 cases.
Right.
So assuming
So
around
I said
that
in
number.
1911 there was 250,000, so 250,000
Yeah.
items in the Louvre. I think today there's 380,000
Oh,
like exhibits in the
Yeah.
Louvre.
that's so much.
Like I said, I didn't realize how big it was
Yeah.
because you look at the photo, which is just the glass.
Yeah, but you don't realize that all the buildings
Pyramid.
around are also the Louvre.
Yeah, it's the glass pyramid.
Yeah.
But then, like I said, it's got 1,000 rooms and the room, like the floor
the
space
glass
is
pyramid-
45 acres.
The glass pyramid's just one bit in the middle of a
Yeah.
courtyard area.
Yeah.
There's all the old buildings are still there as well. Like,
Yeah, I know that. But like you don't think about the fact
No, when
that
you think of the Louvre, you think of the glass pyramid.
but you also don't think of a museum being 1,000 rooms.
yeah, it's fair.
I guess what is it? The
Smithsonian.
Smithsonian.
in DC is they're very similar. Like that's a lot of that's
Yeah.
underground too, isn't it? With a lot of rooms and stuff.
Yeah, and
So-
they've got a heap of different sections.
Yeah.
On the topic of Nazi Germany stealing all these paintings, Adolf Hitler was an unsuccessful artist who was denied admission to the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts. Nonetheless, he thought of himself as an art connoisseur. And in Mein Kampf, he ferociously attacked modern art as degenerate, including Cubism, Futurism, and Dadaism, all of which he considered the product of a decadent 20th century society. In 1933, when he became the Grand Chancellor of Germany, he enforced his particular aesthetic ideal on the entire country. The type of art that was favoured among the Nazi Party were classical portraits and landscapes of the old masters, particularly, of course, of Germanic origin.
Yeah, people don't often think about the fact that Hitler was an art Nazi as well.
Yep.
And a grammar Nazi.
Yeah.
All right. the next heist, the Boston art heist.
Ooh, you are stealing an idea that I had.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like this one.
So in the early morning of at 1:20 a.m. of Sunday, March 18, 1990, the day after St. Paddy's Day, 2 police officers buzzed a side door of the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. There were 2 guards on duty that night, 23-year-old Rick Abarth and 25-year-old Randy Heaston.
Randy.
Protocol dictated that one guard would patrol with a flashlight and a walkie-talkie, while the other one would sit at the security desk. Rick was at the desk, and the buzzer connected him to the door where the police were. And there's like a little camera that he could see outside. And there was, did I say there was an intercom? Yes. The buzzer connected him to the desk, and there was an intercom as well. They explained that they were attending a call out for a disturbance, thinking maybe a St. Paddy's Day patron had climbed the fence and someone had reported it. He let the police in at 1:24 a.m. So, 4 minutes after he let him in. The police approached the security desk and asked if anyone else was in the museum and to bring them back. Rick complied and radioed for Randy to return. It was at this time Rick noticed that the mustache on the taller man appeared to be fake. The police said Rick looked familiar and that they may have an arrest warrant for him and asked him to leave the desk and provide some identification. Again, Rick complied and left the desk, and at this desk is the only panic button for the museum. This is when the police made their move. They forced Rick against the wall and handcuffed him. As Randy entered the room, the same happened. He was accosted and handcuffed. So if you haven't worked it out by now,
they're not police.
These men are not police.
Yeah.
So I guess like an old Scooby-Doo cartoon, they whipped off their disguises and revealed their true intentions to the guards and asked them not to cause any trouble.
How bad are these security guards, by the way?
Fake mustache. This was in 1990. This
1990.
was not in 1950.
Just 33 years ago.
You can't do fake must like.
You
How do
can
you
imagine
not?
it like off-center.
It would have looked so stupid.
Slightly peeling.
It would have looked so stupid. If I walked around with a fake mustache tomorrow, I'd be like, what the fuck is that guy wearing?
Yeah.
That's a lot of effort for you, though.
It is. I'd have to
Shave
shave
your
my
real
mustache
mustache.
to put on a fake mustache.
Sean, what are you doing? I need to put on a fake mustache.
Mamma mia.
Mamma
I
mia.
think that would be the easiest giveaways because you have a real one. So a fake one would look so
You just
terrible.
walk in tomorrow with a fake mustache. Like, why are you doing that?
Why is it red? Like, why's it changed overnight? Like,
It's significantly smaller.
and it's just the width of your nose and black. What's going on? So then these policemen or the thieves, they wrapped duct tape around the heads and the eyes of the guards, moved them to the basement and handcuffed them to a steam pipe. Real 1950s vibe.
Yeah.
They also took their wallets and told them that they now know where they lived, and if they didn't tell the authorities anything, they would be rewarded in a year's time. This all took...
What is this, a caricature? Like, this sounds like every cartoon baddie you've ever heard of.
Pretty much. This all only took 15 minutes from the time the buzzer was pressed, so now it is now 1:35 a.m.
Yeah.
So they're handcuffed to a steam, wrapped up with duct tape. Don't say anything, and we'll send you a reward in a year's time. At least they're being nice about it.
Okay, sure.
Well, they could have said, we're going to shoot you in the head.
Yeah.
So in this museum, there's also infrared motion detectors.
Yeah.
And they would record footsteps.
Where they went?
Yeah, where they went. But nothing was recorded from the thieves for 13 minutes. So the first recording of footsteps out the museum was at 1:48. I guess they were waiting to see if the actual police were going to show up. So as the thieves, and so they started moving about, and as the thieves would approach a painting, a device that would normally activate when patrons would get too close to the painting it started beeping. They just smashed it.
Yeah.
They said, like, this is annoying, and they just... So, let's go through some of the 13 artworks that were stolen. The most valuable among the stolen pieces was the Concert, which was painted by Dutch artist Vermeer, and is only one of 34 paintings attributed to him. So yeah, he only apparently
Never heard of him.
Never heard of him. Well, this one painting accounts for half of the hall's total value.
Wow.
It was estimated in 2015 to be valued at $250 million.
250 million.
Yes.
Which one?
The concert. The concert.
So
The concert, yeah.
That's what I mean. There's going to be a lot of photos. We'll try and get photos of all these paintings.
I watched a little bit of a documentary on this that's on Netflix.
Mhm.
And
nice
I didn't
painting.
realize that anything in that museum was worth that much money.
Mm.
Sheesh.
It is believed to be the most valuable stolen item in the world.
Yeah.
Also stolen were some pieces painted by Rembrandt. I'm sure you've heard of him.
I have heard of Rembrandt.
Including the painting The Storm on the Sea of Galilee.
Yes, that's the one I remember.
That is his only seascape and the most valuable of his pieces stolen that night. Estimates putting it at about $140 million. The other Rembrandt pieces taken were a lady and a gentleman in black and a small postage stamp sized self-portrait etching. The thieves attempted to take a larger self-portrait painting of Rembrandt, but left it because it was too large and was on a timber canvas and therefore more difficult to move. Whereas the other ones were
standard canvas, yeah.
Like
They
a
were
material
stretched.
canvas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they were canvas that was stretched over a frame.
Yep. Also taken was Landscape with Obelisk, which up until a few years prior was believed to be a Rembrandt, but was in fact his pupil Govert Flink.
Right.
So I guess they had a style. All these pieces were in one room, and the last piece taken from that room was a bronze goo.
Goo?
Goo, G-U, goo.
Oh, is this the Chinese?
It's a type of
Yes,
Chinese
this
ritual.
item is about
Yeah.
25 centimeters tall and is used for serving wine in ancient China. The bronze goo was one of the oldest items in the museum, dating back to the Shang dynasty in the 12th century BC.
Yeah.
So that's an old. It's just like a
Yeah.
wine,
Old
cask.
wooden ship.
not a cask.
It was an old wooden ship. I remember, like, in the documentary, they talk about the FBI are kind of puzzled by that because they're like, why would they steal all these paintings?
Yeah,
And then
I
also this
kinda-
really annoying
I
vase.
kind of get to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
In another gallery, 5 sketches by French artist Edgar Degas was taken. These were not very valuable. A 25 centimeter tall French imperial eagle, an imperial eagle, which I believe was taken because they couldn't unscrew the Napoleon flag. So they took the eagle that
Yeah.
was like more exposed. And one item from the first floor, Chez Toronti by French painter Edouard Minette.
Chez Tortoni.
Chez Tortoni, yeah.
Yeah.
The thieves, they did go check on the guards one last time before they left,
Yeah.
making sure that they were comfortable. They then went to the security director's office and took the video cassettes of the closed circuit cameras and the data printouts from the motion detectors. However, that data was also recorded on a hard drive, which was untouched. The frame from the, Chez Toronti?
Chez Tortoni.
Shea Tortellini.
Shea Tortellini. The frame from that painting was left on the security director's chair. The whole theft only taking 81 minutes.
Geez, that's pretty efficient.
Pretty quick.
Hmm.
Experts are confused by the items taken and the way they were handled, with most being cut hastily from their frames or even thrown on the ground to smash their protective glass casings.
Hmm.
Another thing that confused experts and leads them to think that the perpetrators were not art experts themselves or commissioned to steal particular items is that some more valuable items were overlooked, such as The Rape of Europa by Titan, which is considered to be the most valuable painting in the city.
Hmm.
That was like on the 3rd floor and nothing was taken from the 3rd floor. As Gardner, because the museum is named after the lady who procured all the pieces and set up the museum, as her will decreed nothing in her collection should be moved, the empty frames for the stolen paintings remain hanging in their locations in the museum. And that means, all of these items are still missing, which also means the people responsible for this haven't been found either.
Yeah. I was reading just now that, because when I looked up the Sea of Galilee, apparently in 2013, the FBI were like, we know who did it, and then didn't arrest anyone.
Yeah, I did read that. I didn't really go too much into who they suspect. That was, did you see who it was? I think it was, I've got it written down here as the Merlino gang or people associated with the Merlino.
Yeah, I didn't read into it, but
I did see that they reckon they know who it is, but
they haven't done anything
they
about
haven't
it.
done anything.
Yeah.
The FBI took immediate control of the case. So this is an FBI case because they believe like interstate
Yeah.
possibilities. But they say it was unique in the fact that there was a lack of strong physical evidence.
Yeah, right.
So there was like no footprints left. The fingerprints they took was hard to distinguish because of all the people who worked at the museum.
Yeah.
It's just,
People also talk about like there's a strong possibility it was an inside job.
well, Yeah, and I don't go into it, but
Yeah.
some of the people investigated include Rick Abarth, which was the security guard, because when he did his rounds beforehand, he opened and closed the door that the police buzzed.
Yeah.
And when questioned about that, he kind of went like, "Well, I do that every night because to make sure it's locked."
Yeah.
But then when talking to other guards, they're like, "Well, if he did that every night, the higher
Alarm
ups
would go off.
well, the higher ups would
Yeah.
stop that because it would be detected."
Yeah.
So they believe that he was signaling to the
To
thieves
do it. Yeah.
it was time. Whitey Bugler, he was one of the most powerful crime bosses in Boston.
Boston. Can't believe I got to this point without saying that. Yeah.
He was also investigated, as well as Brian McDivitt.
Great name.
He was a con man from Boston who tried to rob the Hyde collection in Glens Falls in 1981.
Nice.
He had dressed up as a FedEx driver, carried handcuffs and duct tape, and planned to steal a Rembrandt. So I guess they just went, well, you kind of done
Sounds
this
pretty
before.
similar.
Yes,
Yeah.
similar MO. And again, there was a few people associated with the Merlino gang. But a long investigation short, they don't know who done it. No arrests have been made, no pieces have been recovered, and the museum has a $10 million reward offered for any information leading to any returns. The total value of the items stolen was estimated in the early 2000s at $500 million, with some art dealers suggesting it could now be around $600 million, making it the highest value museum robbery ever.
Jeez.
You just don't realize how much money is in some of these things.
Yeah.
So much.
Just, you only heard one, but Sean just twice.
He did it without the microphone.
I forgot.
He just leant back and went,
I did it.
Very good point, John. Oh, crap, pick up the microphone.
That's why it was slightly out of time.
I did a reverse JT. I had my hands on the back of my head, just like, oh, yep, I don't need the microphone.
All right, and the last story I got for you guys, a little mini story to finish off. This one's called, well, the name of the artwork is called Sleeping Lady with the Black Vase.
Sleeping lady with the black face.
Yes.
Stop typing, that's my job.
It is.
I just want to see it.
It is a 1928 oil painting by Hungarian artist Robert Bereni.
Okay.
It's a depiction of the painter's wife.
Black vase, not face.
Sorry.
A vase.
Vase.
Yes.
It is a depiction of the painter's wife reclining asleep with in a blue dress behind a table on which is set a black vase.
Yes. Just seeing what shows up on Google Images, I actually do know this story.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The painting was last seen publicly in 1928 in an exhibition in Hungary before being sold, likely to a Jewish person who then fled the country before or during World War II. From there, the painting was considered lost.
Yes.
That was until Christmas Eve 2009, when an art historian, I hate these names. Why can't people just have normal names?
Gerlicke
Barkey.
But I jumped the gun there, help you out.
Gerlicke Barkey. He noticed the painting in the background of a movie he was watching with his 3-year-old daughter.
What movie was that, boy?
Stuart Little.
Ah, yes.
Stuart Little.
What? Okay, is there...
The shot from the movie is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like the family and the kid, like they're all dressed up in like suits and stuff, and the kid's holding the mouse.
Like I said, there's going to be so many pictures from
And
this.
there's the painting
episode.
behind it. Oh.
He had no recording gear, so he couldn't
Yep.
like play back or pause to look at it, but it was shown so frequently in the film, he was able to get a good look at it.
Yep.
Thinking it wasn't a copy or a fake due to its obscurity, he sent about 50 emails to a production company in hopes to track it down.
Yep.
After 2 years, he received a reply and was invited to travel out to the US to inspect the painting. It was hanging in the set designer's house, and Barkey unscrewed the frame using a screwdriver borrowed from a hot dog stand and was able to confirm the painting's authenticity.
Wow. Like, what are the chances?
I know, what are the chances?
It's such an obscure painting as well. Like, looking at it, there's nothing special about it.
There's nothing. It's not even that great of a painting, really.
So you think, like, somebody chose to hang that for the film, right? And they probably had a few options.
Do you know how they got to that?
How?
I'll get to it. I'm going to tell you right now. The set designer had purchased the photo on behalf of Sony Pictures in 1999
Yep.
for $500.
Wow.
It was at an antique store in Pasadena.
Yep.
They had purchased the painting in the early 90s from an art collector for $400. The art collector had won it in a charity auction. I think it was St. Paul's Vincent de
It
Paul's.
was Vinny's.
Vinny's.
They had purchased it at a Vinny's auction for $40.
Wow.
Finally, the set designer sold the work of art to a collector who put it up for auction in December of 2014. It was listed with a reserve of $121,220 and was sold on December 13th to an unnamed Hungarian collector. So it's gone back home for $285,700. So I
And
guess
just because it just happened to be in a shot in Stuart Little.
and because of that story, it is referred to as the most famous Hungarian painting.
Yeah, of course.
Multiple shots in Stuart Little.
Multiple shots.
He didn't have, it's the 90s. He
Yeah.
didn't have any ability to pause
No.
the
Yeah,
movie.
so he just had to hope.
He just kept watching.
Oh, man, I hope they show that painting again.
It was not only in Stuart
Can you
Little.
imagine him having to go
It-
back and be like, I need to see Stuart Little again?
Yeah.
And they're like, why?
I don't know if you got it there, but it's featured in like multiple TV shows and in the background of multiple TV shows
Yeah,
and stuff as well.
It's in a
Wow.
couple of soap opera episodes,
Yep.
including some episodes of Family Law.
There you go.
Amazing.
And
Good stuff.
yeah, but for like what do I say? The early 1990s, $40.
Yeah.
That's gonna be one of those things where it shows up on Antiques Roadshow. Oh, bought this painting.
I bought this painting down
For
at the pub
15 quid.
for 15 quid.
And
What
they
do you
go-
think it's worth?
They go, well, this painting's been missing for 100 years. It's
Yeah.
worth $300,000. What?
This is Rembrandt's first piece.
Yeah. Yeah, could you imagine the Sea of Galilee showing up on the end?
Yeah.
I've got this. This was handed down from my granddad.
gave this to me after she died.
Oh, that painting's worth $140 million.
Yeah, also, you're under arrest. Oh, cheese and niblets.
So yeah, that is
Niblets.
2 art heists and an art story. And like I said, I stick
Good
mark
stuff.
it in your calendar. 6 months time, we'll do the Nazi
Yeah, get into it.
stuff, and there's heaps of. I
Good
guess that's
episode, boy.
I guess that's why it's like a trope in movies like
'Cause
art
it's so
heists and
fascinating.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, well, good stuff.
thanks, boy.
3 great stories.
Mm-hmm.
Each of them very
Yeah.
interesting.
Get Cheeky Tales cultures you. Learn about the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, get some culture in you. Listen to Cheeky Tales. Yeah, good stuff. Well, like we alluded to multiple times in the episode, hit us up on @CheekyTalesPod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
There'll be multiple photos this time. We'll try and get a picture of all the paintings referenced.
Yeah, I'm not sure we'll be able to, but maybe we'll do like a link dump somewhere.
Maybe, linked up. Or just chuck them in the comments for Facebook and Instagram, maybe. But Twitter's going to be fun. Do a thread.
Yep. Anyway, yeah, good stuff, boy. Good app.
Thanks, boy. You didn't do a pun, but whatever. We'll move on.
Paint me a picture.
It's easy. Low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
I knew that was
I went for
coming.
the easy one.
Yeah, all good.
Get me a chapel.
Give me 16
Get me
chapels.
16 chapels, and by the 16th, I might paint a masterpiece.
That is a common misconception. People call it the 16th chapel.
They shouldn't.
They shouldn't, because it's not even close.
No.
Now that we've said it on this episode, anyone listening, if you get it wrong from now on, you dumb. Anyway,
You have been
you've been told. All right, let's wrap it up. Thank you very much for listening. Please share us with some friends. It would be great to get us out there. We have recently hit 5,000 total downloads on our episodes.
Nice. Share it with someone who likes art.
Share it with an art fiend. All right, we will see you in a fortnight.
Good night.
Bye.